Fast track number 6, Linda's mastered it, has it all down, so she's going to come over and teach it. So here we go. So this is on mastering listing presentation, and I'm going to try to grab. Do you have one of the binders over there?
What?
One of the presentation binders. Is it? Okay.
Do you want me? I'll do that
Okay. So we'll put the demonstration binder up there, although they are changing things, so it's going to be more of a flip thing, or you can do it on your iPad and those sort of things, or on your computer. So there's multiple ways of doing that right now. This is, we talked about that before, the 2-visit listing process. Information gathering is step 1. Market research planning, that's back at the office, back putting that together, and then going back to the listing presentation on the 2nd visit. So there's the listing presentation, step 2 of the component. So there's 5-6 things there. The first is continue to build a relationship. So you started to build a relationship when you first got there. I'll take that. And you're working on that. You're continuing to build a relationship. You're sharing the agenda. You're saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come over and go over here because they're going to want to jump the gun on you. They're going to want to now start talking what you think the house is worth. So you want to say, we'll get to all that. We'll get to the commissions. We'll get to all that. I want to go through my marketing plan for you, so you understand that first, because that's going to really help you understand why we're doing what we're doing, how we're doing it. Third is give the listing presentation, then go through the presentation. And again, whether it be in the Kahuna binder here, or in an iPad, or on a flip thing that they're working on and adjusting and making some things. We should have those new ones here shortly. Then you're going to discuss pricing and net proceeds. What are net proceeds?
Well, you like the commission?
No, net proceeds. This is when all said and done, what is the seller going to walk away with?
Oh, okay.
So after paying off the mortgage, if they've got a mortgage on the property, after paying commissions, after paying for repairs, those sort of things, what are their net proceeds? That's what they care about. Their bottom line on that. And then you're going to close the listing, and then you're going to discuss the next steps. And don't assume. I mean, I assumed the listing that I've got right now, I assume because of their age, they were experienced, understood this. They're like, they're worse than a brand new person who's never done this before, because they're just all these questions. And I assumed that but it's been a long time since they've bought and sold, and so it's all new and fresh, and things have changed. So make sure you discuss the next steps, what's going to happen, and what needs to happen, and steps they need to take, and all that. So then we want to let's engage the seller. So you can see the binder there. That's what this binder right here is. And let me back up one. Oops, wrong way. Oh, sorry. Did you want those? There you go.
Sorry. Yes, thank you. Oh.
So we want to demonstrate the Weichert difference. That's the value proposition that's embedded in the process that you're working on. Your professionalism, dedication. When you come with a binder, you come in on your iPad, you come in with the flip thing that's going to be here. You come with that, and you've already been there once. You've taken pictures. You're coming back a second time. You're demonstrating already that you're working harder than anybody else is, just in what you're doing to work to get the listing. And that is huge, because most people, they come in, they talk about themselves for a few minutes, and oh, your home's lovely, and let me take the listing. You're showing that we go extra steps to do that. So you want to make sure you're using the Weichert tools to tell your story, and with the new branding that we've got there, you're able to do that even more effectively. Getting to know you, that's that critical relationship building step, part of the process. With the tool, you build rapport, you demonstrate your professionalism, show interest in the sellers, learn about the sellers and their home, and separate yourself from the competition. The presentation showcases everything you and Weichert will do for your sellers. It demonstrates value. It shows you have a plan, that we've got a marketing plan. We've got steps we're going to take. We're going to come in, we're going to take pictures, we're going to do the man report, we're going to send cards around the neighborhood, we're going to do open houses with the signs and the balloons, we're going to send out, we're going to put it on MLS, we're going to broadcast to other places. So you're demonstrating how you're going to market the property. So somebody says, okay, that's great. Are you going to put it in the newspaper? What's your response to that?
Of course. Do you want me to put it in the newspaper?
Are you gonna pay for it?
Okay.
I think it depends, because I put my listings in the real estate guide,
Okay.
but I feel like the newspaper, everybody looks at it more online.
Okay.
So I would just say,
No.
yeah, no, that we have, with how much marketing that our company does, it's proven that it's better to do online, and we can do that a couple months, or a couple of weeks and see how that turns out.
Okay. My response is that statistics tell us that very little of initial first contacts for homes are from the newspaper. That used to be the number one primary way that it went, but with the MLS and how it broadcasts to everywhere, that's really the first place to do that. So we want to make sure our online marketing is strong and good. That's why the virtual tour should broadcast to all those places. People can go look at the 3D tour, walk through there, which we're doing that most companies in the area are not doing. So we can talk about the newspaper, but it's really not an effective, means. And truthfully, the real estate thing comes out in the Sunday paper, and it's this thick, and it's a bazillion homes, and most of those are, $1.5, $2.5, $3.5, $5 million homes, because those are tougher to sell, and they are trying to draw and attract attention. In our market, newspaper doesn't accomplish much. So, yeah, we can if you really want to do that, but it's going to take away my marketing dollars from an ineffective way to an effective way that I could use those dollars better in some other marketing that we do. So that'd be my response to that. So most people get that. You express your commitment through that. You gain the confidence. Hopefully you win them over. The price trend analysis, which we talked about on Wednesday, is where we help give them guidance on their home. We go beyond showing MLS sheets and comps. That's what everybody does. We actually present a visual summary. So what do your people think of the price trend analysis you gave them?
I was more excited about it when she.
Okay. Okay.
She texted me later and said that when she got to sit down and review it, it was cool, but she was like, it really didn't matter.
Okay.
Because I thought we had a longer time frame.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I met with her yesterday, she was pretty clear that she wants to hit the ground running and move a lot quicker than I had originally thought. Yeah. So.
It's like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Yep, so that's fine. Key sales techniques, basic sales techniques. The first one that you're going to need to do is the defer technique. You're going to, topics I want to talk about is what's my home worth? Will you cut your commission? Those sort of things. They want to do so. Just learn to defer. We'll get to that. Let me go through this first. Before I come over tonight, I just want you to know that Brand X will do it for a 5% commission. So if you're hired, don't bother. I understand we can discuss it on Thursday. We're set for 4 o'clock, right? So just defer. It's like, okay, we can talk about that. That's great. So is 4 o'clock still? We're good on that. House and block sold for $700,000. So I figure we should ask $750,000. What do you think? Great question. And prepared a price trend analysis for us to look at. We'll discuss that. Let's talk further. Don't get into discussion on, they're inevitably comparing apples to oranges. It's sold for 700. Yeah, it's 3,000 square feet, or it's 400 square feet bigger than yours. It's got a pool, but you somehow think that yours then should go 50,000 above that. So that's trying to talk on the phone doesn't do it. Show them, demonstrate in person, and then after you demonstrate everything, and they go, well, yeah, I see it's really worth 700, 705, but I want to try and get 750. It's like, okay, we can do that, but can we put into place that in 2 weeks, if we're not getting any action, that we do a price drop? So you put that in place, because then you have shown them, here's why I think this is the right price. So they can't come back and, well, you didn't tell me. Yeah, well, that's the one I sold here in Brentwood, yeah, I want to start here, okay. And then he got nervous because nothing was happening. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, you think maybe we should lower the price? Probably a good idea. Let's do that. And we did, and we got offers. So that's the defer technique. Engage. By asking the sellers questions to engage and involve them in the selling process, they'll often sell themselves. The three key components to this technique are ask, listen, and summarize. So based on what we just discussed, where would you want your marketing dollars invested, in print or online? What are they going to say?
Print.
What?
Print.
Online.
They're going to say, I think they're going to say online. Because they've already been on Zillow, Realtor.com, that sort of stuff. That's how they know how much their house is worth, because they've already been online. So you just say, where would you, if you're going to spend marketing dollars, where would you spend it? Oh, I would do online. Okay, so that's so you let them kind of talk themselves in it. Have you searched for something on the internet? Which search engine did you like the best? So you can see we partner with that website too, which is, it's going to be Zillow, Realtor.com, those sort of things. So you're just engaging, you're asking them questions, you're kind of letting them sell themselves on what you're doing and what's going on here as you're going through the thing. Differentiate yourself. What makes you, working with you and Weichert stand out from other realtors, helping your sellers see the difference between it by emphasizing during your presentation. So what things differentiate us as a company? Matterport, that's one. What?
Price trend analysis.
Price trend analysis, that's another one. What's the third one?
The lead network.
Lead network is the third one. What's another one?
The balloons.
What? The balloons. Yep. The signs with the balloons and putting that out there.
I like it. I mean, the yellow, you can't avoid it.
The yellow.
Yeah.
Yep. So all those things are things that stand out there. And use it. One of the taglines that we've got is, we get more because we do more. Over and over, we consistently get more because we do more. We do more marketing, we do more things to do it. Yes.
How many little sayings do we have? Because we have experience the Weichert difference.
Okay.
We get more because we do more. Invite us in, we'll bring results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many of these little sayings do we
At least
have?
3. I don't know. I haven't sat down and counted them. So at least 3. Create value statements. Value statements throughout your presentation emphasize how you and Weichert stand out for brand X and how you deliver the ultimate service to your seller. Value statements involve describing a feature of a product or service, and then providing the benefit the seller will derive from that. Contain a feature or fact. Contain a benefit or meaning to the client. Use bridges. When buyers search online, we have the ability to directly connect them to a sales associate like me. That means our response time to interested buyers is minutes compared to days. And that's the Weichert Lead Network for people calling on that. Getting to yes, closing. As you're going through there, is this a service that you would like? Do you I showed you the Matterport thing. Is that something that you think, yeah, that's really cool? Is this something would you find this of value? Does this work? We'll do open house the first weekend, Saturday and Sunday, one or the other or both, if that works. We're going to put it on Broker's Tour. Do those things work for you? So if we put it on, one of the things I do, so if we put it on, if we list it now, so today's Thursday, if I get it listed on Monday, I can put it in the broker tour for next Tuesday. We can do open houses the following weekend, and hopefully we'll have offers in the next 10 days after that, within that 10 days there. So if we did Monday and the broker's tour on Tuesday, and then open houses Saturday and Sunday, would that work for you? Yeah, okay. So you're getting them to agree to things that could be done, and how it could be done. You want them to be starting to say yes. Having them choose the pictures, So here's some pictures that I took, Which of these ones do you like? Oh, I don't like that shot. Oh, I like that one. So getting them involved in the process, and you're basically saying, there's a direct mail postcard. You put one together. Hey, you like this postcard? Here you have 2 samples of postcards that you can do up through the putting this together. Which one do you like? And let them pick and choose. So that helps. Tips for using the Getting to Know You. Use the Getting to Know You self-diagnostic checklist. That's on the right-hand side there. So evaluate yourself on that. Did you make eye contact? Use their name? Were you approachable? Did you compliment on their home, their choice of furniture, their decor? Was it genuine? So be careful about those things.
Genuine.
Yes, I
They
know.
didn't tell me how to do that when I got my license.
I know. Find common ground. Oh, you have a dog. Great, I love dogs. Oh, you've got a cat. Here's what I say.
They're less disgusting.
So, oh, you've got a cat. That's great. Yeah, my dog would love a cat, but for different reasons. Because sure, her motives aren't pure. So, and that always kind of gets them. So, before you show them your home, let's sit and talk. So sit down. Yes, I do that. Sit down and talk about that before. What I want to do is understand your situation. Have you show me your home as you want it shown to a buyer. Set up our next appointment so I can share your customized marketing plan. Does this agenda work for you? So these are things you can do, kind of checklist, kind of know those things ahead of time going in. That'll help you as you go through the process. And so, again, you're looking for affirmation, confirmation all the way through as you do that. And then at the very end there, you're closing and confirming a second appointment. So this is a good thing. I would take this out, put it up someplace so you can see it and kind of read through it a few times a week so you kind of know that flow, so when you go to your list appointment, you're ready to go. Other than so you don't just wing it like.
Hey, winging it. How many listings have I had?
That's right.
How many have they sold? Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm getting myself here. Before the presentation, present a professional appearance. Dress appropriately. Know your audience. So, if you're going and listing a farm, you're gonna want
Cowboy boots.
jeans and cowboy boots.
Show up in your cowboy boots and then fall on your face because you've never worn them.
How dare you? Yes, I have.
No, I'm just saying if somebody's never worn cowboy boots before.
Better than high heels.
Offer to remove your shoes before entering the home. It shows respect for your client. I don't do that unless I'm seeing shoes off there, just because, and part of that is because of my philosophy, because people also say, hey, the one to hatch feet, hey, can we have them wear booties? Yeah, we can. Get lovely hardwood floor. Would hate to see somebody go down because they're not used to wearing those booties and they slip and fall, because we've had that happen, not in our office, but before. So you open yourself up to liability by doing that, but we can. I'd much rather go behind and clean up a little bit of, maybe a little mess on the hardwood floor than, blood.
You wanted people to wear booties on the hardwood floor?
Yes. So, but that's where people are. So they just kind of feel that. So reestablish rapport, build rapport, admire their home, the garden, whatever. Smile, make eye contact, use their name, acknowledge, admire their children and pets. Even if, yeah.
What if they...
I've had difficult ones where the kids were.
You have a beautiful child.
I was just pulling my hair.
Okay, so one of the people that we both know goes to your church, and their kids are. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. So we'll be careful in case the video gets out. So yeah. So.
Leak it. Sorry.
I don't know if I'll play.
Let's see. You want to try to, begin to start for a close. Find out any concerns that they have up front. If we come to an agreement, is there a reason you wouldn't want to work with me? Me to work for you today? It'll help you get information. Explain the process, how the second visit works. This first one is just so I can get information in the home. I'm going to go in and really price it out now and really now that I get a good feel for the home, and I'll come back and show you my marketing plan and all that sort of stuff. During the listing presentation, follow the steps outlined in the Weichert Listing Presentation self-diagnostic checklist. So here's the listing presentation one that you can do. So the first one was the initial visit. This is when you go back to the listing presentation and things that you've done there, kind of know the flow and outline there. When you're at the end of the thing, get their agreement on the marketing plan. So when we met on the Tehachapi one, is I want to put on the Brokers Tour on Tuesday, I want to put on the Antioch Brokers Tour on Thursday, I want to do open house Saturday and Sunday. Will that work for you guys? Yeah, and the only thing they didn't want to do is they didn't want to sign in the front yard until it went pending. And now that it's pending, I'm going to throw a sign in the ground. Some of any concerns they have, reiterate solutions. So when we were doing the brokers open house, they said, hey, can we put blankets down because there was some rain that was supposed to be coming in. Can we put blankets down and wipe their feet? Yeah, you can. What I'd rather do is have you just like stick it off to the side, and if their shoes are wet, they can wipe their feet. But otherwise, you're putting right outside the door, again, a slip hazard and that sort of stuff. So I always err on the side of safety on that. So those are some things that you've got those there. Read through this section, go back and read that so we don't have to read everything on there. And then our goal, one goal, it's about the seller, tie their needs and concerns into the agenda. We want to sell the home at the best possible price quickly. Now, I don't say that. I say we want to get you the best terms quickly. Because price may not always be the best for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. So I say we want to get you the best offer in the shortest amount of time, or in the appropriate amount of time. If you make it too short, you may miss some opportunities there. So I say we want to get you the best offer because terms may be different. Price may not be the whole thing. There may be some other things to consider in there. So that's what I do on there. Probe and ask them, as you consider hiring a realtor to market your home, what's the most important to you? So what's important to you? Why is it important? We have 3 objectives: get the highest net or the best offer for your house with the least inconvenience to you and your family, and as quickly as possible. Do you agree with those objectives? Do you have other objectives? That's why with the Tehachapi one, we said we're going to do this, 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 and this, and we're hoping to have offers in that we can get this wrapped up and minimize your disruption. So in this market, it's easy to do that. It's easier to do that just because of the lack of inventory. When the market changes, we've got more inventory and less buyers. It's going to be harder to change that. So we want to help them. That we want to try. We still want to minimize inconvenience, but if the market changes, they just need to understand it's going to take a little bit of time because of things, unless they go price really aggressively. So in order to do that, you need a well-executed marketing plan that demonstrates your home's unique values, regular communication from you throughout the process, quality advice at all decision points through settlement, and then maximum exposure to qualified buyers. Let's see. So people like to see pictures of their home. The other reason that I ask, you're asking about the Matterport for the Bay Point one. Here's the other reason to do that, and it was one of the Kathy's really kind of set this off for me. It's also good to do that, and if you try to do it a few days before you actually have it done, a few days before you actually go on the market, get it done, send it to her, and let her look it through. Because a lot of times they look through and they thought it was clean. If you're going to go deep, so that help. They think it looks nice, and then they start looking and they go, "Oh my gosh, this is what people are going to see. I can't have it that way," and they go and change things. So with Kathy's, she said, "Hey, you really need to paint these rooms. You need to do this carpet." No, I'm not spending more money on that. And we went and did the Matterport. Kathy sent her the link. She called Kathy, "You can't put it on the house and mark it on the house yet. I gotta change that carpet. I gotta paint some of those rooms."
And she staged it too.
And she staged it too. So, and she got a good offer, would have been nearly as good had she not done that. So it was a really good thing, but then they kind of see it as someone's going to see it, they get to be critical with it too. So, and that helps them to get a better price. And you might just even say that as, I don't really want the 3D thing. Well, we like to do it because one, then you get to walk through your home like other people would be walking through, and you may see some things that you want to adjust and change that would help it sell better. So you become more part of the process. Page 2 and 3 of the book there are pictures of their home. Again, when you're going in for the first one, saying, hey, I'm going to come in, want to look at your home, get to know it, and get to know you, make sure they know you're going to take some pictures. And just, hey, kind of key areas, the kitchen, I'd love to get a couple shots there. Maybe the living room, special features. If the backyard looks nice, and that maybe a shot of a couple shots in the backyard. Anything that would, kind of show the, what's different about your home. I want to take some pictures of that. Just give them a heads up so they can clean things up before you get there.
So with the Matterport, do you do like all the bedrooms and all that too?
Yep.
Or you just do
Anything you don't want me to do, just close the door. I've had one before where they specifically didn't want me to go in a room. And they just closed the door and I didn't do it.
Yeah, bedrooms would, but do the bedrooms because people want to see the bedrooms and all that. So depersonalize that if they can.
Yeah.
Which room was that they didn't want?
It was at Maggie's listing. I don't remember what address it was, but it was the one with the cat and that ended up in it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They had a room they don't want me to go in.
okay. Which is fine because it just said, yeah. Let's see, so those pages are going to be pictures and put some descriptions on there, that sort of stuff. And that helps them to kind of see how you're going to market it, what you're going to do. If you're not good with descriptions, find somebody who is and who can help you to kind of put some good things together. And then building credibility. Our team, especially for if you're newer like you guys are, you can take assurance from our history of success that Weichert started out with Jim Weichert and then his son James. Jim Weichert started in 1969 and is still doing real estate today. One of the things that that I talk about all the time is that the great thing about them is that somebody gets an idea, they test market it in his own companies first, the ones that he owns, before they send out the franchise that we have to do. So they don't just throw stuff out there and then we got to kind of live with it and it doesn't work. They test it, make sure it works, and then if it works, then they send it out to us. So we've got, in essence, we've got 1,000 people working for us in New Jersey, putting stuff together for us all the time. And so, there's just that part of Weichert, but then there's also our home office here, and we work together as a team, we help each other out. And so you talk about your team, talk about how we work as a team. Talk about Connie, you've got a transaction coordinator who will do all that stuff for us, put it all together. We've got somebody else who will come up and put the sign for us, get that stuff set up. So just talk about the team, that we work together as a team to bring success for each of our listings, because it's important for all of us that we have success on that. There's example dialogue that I don't want to go too much into that. Our team will respond to your needs. In my office, my broker is Dave Hansen, and he's reachable if you want. I can give you his number. If you have any questions about what's going on, you can call him, and just reassure them, though, that I'm going to work hard, that you'll never ever have to have a conversation with him, because I'm going to be doing things, working hard on that. Then you talk about your people you use for different things. Here's who I use for my lending. Here's who I use for my home inspections. Here's who I use for my pest inspections. Here's who I use for my escrow and title. And just go down and say, here's, you're free to use other people in that, but here's who I use. I know that they're good. I know they accomplish what they need to, and they're going to give me good service. Other than Jeff last week failed me because he couldn't do an inspection for me because he was in Hawaii. Eagle eye. So, but But you talk about those just as a matter of fact, and then you've also got other people that you know, contractors, cleaners, those sort of things. Make sure you do so that you can help out, because they're going to ask you questions. Who should I get for this? Who should I get for that? With Bongiorno now, I always give my full disclosure. My son-in-law works for him. My son does sometimes, but I've used Bongiorno long before they work with him. So, if you want to use somebody else, that's fine. So I don't get any kickbacks on it. I should, but I don't. Office information, make sure your information is up to date. And make sure your business cards are up to date, that sort of stuff. So talking about team, and you can put pictures of different. You can put picture of Connie up there. You can put picture of me up there as a broker. You can put picture of Maggie as kind of the office manager type of a thing. So you can put different people on there on that team page to show you've got a team of people that you work with. That you're not just flying solo, and there's people that work with you. Then we talk about the Weichert difference, our online presence, the lead network, our dynamic marketing. That we've got all the flyers, all that sort of stuff we can put together, postcards that we can put together in a few moments' notice. And we maximize our pool of potential buyers through our online presence, through where we're broadcasting to. We do an enhanced open house program. With our approach, how we do that. We've got our gold services people. We've got strategic pricing, that's a price trend analysis. Helps you to figure that out. We're neighborhood specialists. We're more knowledgeable about home sale values and price trends in your area. Make sure you get up to date on the new area if you're not familiar with it at all. Let's see. We're on deal with here, so we've got a ton here to cover. I'm going to encourage you, you're going to need to go back and read some of these things here on these pages, because we try to cover everything. It's going to take us hours, and we don't have hours. Let's see. So when somebody says, so you do a price trend analysis and the number is 550, and they say, well, it's 550, I want to list it at 580. Just see what happens. What are you going to say to them?
I would recommend staying around 550. Otherwise, you're going to see your house sitting for longer. You'll get more offers.
Okay. Emily.
On top of what Bobby said, like, I recommend 550, but if you want to start at 580, we can do that. And then what you said about, but if nothing happens in 2 weeks, then let's lower it.
Okay, Linda.
The price trend analysis says 550 for a reason. I am your agent, so I will list where you'd like me to list. However, every time we change the price on the MLS, that notifies people, and people start to think that there's something wrong with your house.
Okay. So where offer is going to end up coming in at, and once you start dropping the price?
Less than 550.
Probably less than 550. So you take that chance. When you want to try to, now what I always tell them is like, you know what? I'm not seeing it, but I'm willing to do it. I may have missed something. I don't think I have, but if I'm wrong, I'm thrilled to be wrong. But I just need to voice my concerns to you that this is what I think. This is a scenario that could play out, and so it's always better to be a little below, because the market will drive it. If it's worth 580 and we're at 550, it'll drive up to 580. If it's worth 550, we're 580, and we start dropping down, you may end up below 550. And so you take a chance on that. It's not a scare tactic. It's not believe me, the higher you get for it, the better off I am. So, there's nothing gained for me to give you a low price to get a quick sale. I'd rather get the right price for you, because I'm more concerned on your second and third transaction with me than your first. So I want this to be a good experience so that you'll be back again and you'll recommend people because it was a good experience and I got you good value and helped you with that. So those are things where you need to learn those dialogues and those answers and those responses to people and be strategic in the pricing and how you're going to market it. Let's see, so you can do the presentation from your laptop or tablet. You can play it from Weichert1.com. There's videos in there, and I just embed. I save the video, have it ready to go when I go there, and I use the presentation and I showed video on computer. So there's multiple ways you can do that, and we can work with you on getting that. Again, I don't want to go too deep into the woods because we're probably going to transition away from the big one to more of a smaller one. This is.
You take that whole thing with you? Please.
Yeah, that's
Sasha! Hey, Sasha.
Come here, sister.
This is being interrupted by the dogs.
Hi.
Where's that?
Sorry.
How are you?
What's going on?
Oops.
Still not going in.
I think she's almost there.
This is compelling video, right? Okay. And again, Weichert 1, and they show on there, but that's changed how it's going to be. So ignore those pages there because with the new format, it's changed twice now since I've looked on there. So let's see. The internet, we can talk about lead network and how that works. How we broadcast, and the good news is that even though Weichert is newer on the West Coast, they are doing a good job of optimizing us and moving us up the list of search engines or places that people search when they look for homes in Brentwood, homes in Antioch, and that Weichert's popping up higher and higher on the list. So that's helpful and it's getting better as we go. So, and then with that, you get access to all across the country buyers because people, especially in the West Coast and Midwest, know Weichert, and a lot of people from those areas are moving this direction, so that gives us kind of an advantage on that. Let's see, so we're going to flip up to strategy. We'll create more traffic to your listings. There's some of the places that we broadcast to: Realtor.com, Homes.com, Zillow, Trulia, Yahoo, RealtyTrack, New York Times, Home Finder. Those through Weichert, our listings go to those places, and those are helpful places to do that. And you can also put some regional things into. You can add to that template some other things where you broadcast in there. Anyone can put your home on their website. What makes Weichert different is we have the most aggressive search engine strategy. We're the leading real estate company who invests significantly in being where buyers are, looking to drive them to our site. So they do a good job of optimization, of getting on search engines and those sort of things. And let's see. Let's see. We'll go right there. Your visibility will feature your home at its best online, and that's where you can talk about through the Weichert stuff, as well as also with our Matterport, our virtual tours, those sort of things. You want people to find things all in one place, and not have to go to 16 different places. So there's also a way that customers have the ability to receive automatic emails as property come off the market that meets our criteria. They're notified of those properties. That means that people won't miss their listings because people are putting on there a search thing. And so basically just that, I would say read through that, understand that, and it helps us to be able to be on there. There's also a Weichert app that you can have people on, and they can find homes through the Weichert app. It's branded to you, I believe, now also. Our solution, we capture more buyers. That's the Weichert Lead Network. You can explain how that goes and how that works. Hi, puppy. The other thing that we're using, which is OpCity, which is good for leads too, and find people who are looking to buy homes in an area, and we can direct them towards your home there. The good news with the lead network is those calls come in to us, and we can respond quickly to us because they're a live, warm handoff from the call in, and so if we don't capture it, hopefully somebody in our office will, and we can get those buyers in to look at your home.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Is that still going on? Because I haven't gotten anything from you better.
I think it's slowed right now, just because of the changes with what Zillow has done. I think they are in the process of retooling to figure out how to make it work more effectively, and so I think that's why it's slowed right now, because I think they're kind of re-gearing to improve that lead capture.
How are we getting leads from OpCity? Like, where are people clicking from to get the calls over to us from OpCity?
I'm not sure where people are looking that those go to OpCity. I'm not sure if that's that they're buying the leads from, well, not Zillow, because Zillow's trying to work on the same type of format. So I'm not sure where the OpCity ones come in, but I'm getting a lot of them lately. So I got one for a $600,000-$800,000 condo in San Jose. Talked to a lady this morning, very receptive. We're going to probably go show her houses on Saturday. She's meeting with talking with a lender tonight, I think. So if she's able to be for people qualified and stuff, so that one's probably the most solid I've had out of that so far. So I'm not 100% sure where they come from. But the lead network, and that's one of the things we got to kind of look at, is because that has been affected by what Zillow did. And so I think they're smart enough that they're going to figure out some ways to improve that. And I think that's probably what they're in the process of working on right now. So that's noisy gum over there, chick. Hi, Brooklyn. Hi, Brooklyn. What's up? Nice talking to you. Our dynamic marketing, one of the dynamic marketing things is just the yellow sign. It can be seen a mile away, it can be seen from space. So we've got the flyers, we've got online, we've got, yes.
The flyers suck. It's not a question.
They do.
I'm just telling you. Are they going to be redoing those as well? They're not.
So what's your complaint with the flyers?
They don't look high quality.
And they only have like 5 options.
Okay.
And none of the options are good.
Yeah.
What sort of paper are you printing them on?
Well, even when you're designing it though, like I haven't printed any out because I don't like the design.
Okay.
I
So the design.
Yeah, the design is like if you were to compare, if I were to take in one of these flyers,
Okay.
and then one of the flyers like Jessica has on both of her houses,
Okay.
I would choose Jessica's flyers every single day.
Okay.
Like I am embarrassed to show anybody these flyers just because they just look so generic. Like
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. That's good. Then I'll go back to them and say, are there some new designs coming out for the flyers? And that, I know in the high-end marketing stuff, they've got some really different looking stuff too.
Yeah. So you can't get into that because when I went into there, you can't get into there unless you have a listing that's higher than 700,000 in the luxury collection. Their flyers are really nice.
Yep.
But you can't unless you have a listing that's listed over 700,000 because we're in California.
Okay. Yeah. And I think what we need to do is, it's like, I understand that for the luxury thing, but let's put some of that quality in the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to them. Yeah, I think that's a fair discussion. And it seems like there were some other ones. So is that through the ones that you print up, or are you go looking at the ones that you can get from the vendors as well?
You can go through the vendors, it's just, it takes longer.
Okay,
And you can do like the complete property brochure and all that. Again, it takes longer, so it's like if I have an open house that I'm doing,
Okay.
I know that we should be advertising them for 10 days ahead of time.
correct.
However, if I'm supposed to be advertising 10 days ahead of time, that means I need to know that I'm having this open house, 2-3 weeks ahead of time, because we need time to get them in.
Right.
So if I want to just go online and design a good looking flyer, I really can't
Okay.
unless I go through.
So my question is, do you like the quality, the look of the ones that you can get from the vendors?
Yes.
Okay.
Like if I can print them out here, because I mean, or even have them sent to a printing, like if I already have my own logo, or not logo, but if I already have my own design
Okay.
that I can upload to a local printer and I know they'll have them done within 24 hours, that's great. But if I have to order them,
Okay.
it's gonna take, 72 hours or 3 business days to get here. It's just,
Okay. I think that's a fair. So I'll talk to them about that, because I think if that's a issue, then we need to work on improving that so that there's better quality that we can print out. So, okay. Our name, Weichert will interest more buyers in your home. 92% of all buyers find yard signs useful when searching for a home. More than half of all calls to Weichert offices are in response to a yard sign. So yard signs do work. There are some people who do not want them on there. And I think part of it sometimes is because they don't want the neighbors to know until, they really have last minute to tell them. And so I think it's part of the issue for some people. Let's see. Let's see. Your news. You can't put together like the just listed cards. You can show them that of how you're going to market that, and that's in this particular put there, and those look pretty nice. Those are, and that's as you're putting this together within the whole presentation. You can show some nice samples of cards in that. And that we broadcast out. We broadcast to neighbors just listed. We send cards to other places for just listed, so people can see it. Oftentimes, neighbors have lived in the area for a while. They've got friends that, hey, if a house comes up in your neighborhood, I'd like to take a look at that. So we can customize our marketing stuff, brand stuff properly for them. Let's see. The other thing is that we have. We've got a large network of relocation companies. So there's a ton of companies nationally and internationally that we work with for relocation. And so it may be that people move in this direction. So our information goes to those companies, and if there's people looking for reload, we can get calls on those sort of things. And we have to find out how to more effectively tap into that as an option for getting people to see what's out here in ours. I don't know that we have a ton of relocation here. I know down in San Jose there's a lot of people relocating into Silicon Valley, so that's a good area for us there. So let me ask you this, and this is where I with the print advertising, those sort of things. Which are the better buyers? Those who are moving into the area from outside the area, or those who already live inside the area?
Inside the area.
Okay, what do you think?
I don't know. Both.
Okay, what do you think?
I would say people are moving from outside the area.
Okay, why?
I feel like they're not as picky because they don't know the area.
Okay. What else do they have kind of going against them?
They're not trying to be, I don't know, close to family maybe.
Maybe. Usually they've already sold something. and they have to get into something.
Quick, yeah.
They're either gonna be having to rent something, and it's hard to get a month-to-month lease out here just for, a few months, so they gotta get into something. So they're gonna be committed to it. They may find some things that are not their favorite of the house, but hey, we'll stick with it, we'll live for a few years, and we can make a move once we kind of get good to know the area. Versus someone who's in the area, probably got a home, they're still outside, they may be contingent. They don't have to necessarily make a move, that sort of stuff. So a lot of times your outside the area buyers tend to be better buyers, more committed to it. Can't always control that, but that's some of the case. Our open houses, and again, I can't emphasize enough, at least 8 signs out there, at least 2 balloons in every sign. I know it's a lot of work, it takes time. However, if we keep doing it consistently, it will pay off for every one of us when we go on listing appointments, when we are talking with people, because they'll start to say, oh, the yellow signs with the yellow balloons. I see you guys everywhere. The more signs you get out there, the more balloons you got out there. So I heard that you guys had another Weichert was in that area, had signs out also?
Like First American something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to go take the signs and I was like, oh my, I was so mad, like who moved the sign? Because it's pointing up the hill. And I popped the balloons and realized it wasn't our sign.
Did you pop the balloons?
I did.
That's great.
I didn't like look at it, I just saw Weichert, And I was like, oh, I came back and told her, so like I had already did the work for them, I had guided them
Right.
to our, and then they had to go that way, but their sign was pointing that way. And that's why Maggie's like, oh, your signs are confusing.
Yeah.
I was like way up there and I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's funny. So 72% of home buyers visit at least one open house. And then 1 out of every 3 Weichert open houses leads directly to a sale. And 92% of buyers find open houses to be a useful source of information while looking for a home. Statistics also say that I believe it's like 70% of people who visit, other than neighbors, 70% of people who visit an open house buy within the next year. So you want to get those leads. You want to begin to work those and develop those over time. Let's see. Talk about that. Our open houses lead more directly to success.
Brooklyn.
So I will display a minimum of 8 directional signs, promote your open house on real estate websites. And you guys know on the MLS, you can put your open houses right on the MLS and it'll broadcast out to all the open houses place, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll show you, if you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how to do that. Feature your home with driving directions on Weichert.com. Use additional channels to attract the most buyers. Invite people in your area. I'll register all guests. Sell your home's benefits as an escort guest to the property. Advertise your home's affordability through Gold Services. And then after, I'll follow up with all the prospects, answer questions, gauge interest, arrange for private visits, and contact you frequently with feedback. People always, after an open house, they always want to know what happened, how it went, how many people were there, and those sort of things. So make sure you get that information to them and communicate with them. But our open houses, we've had very good luck with them, very good success. And if we're getting those balloons and those signs out there, that's going to help us all as we move down the road. And then, let's see, marketing plan, which one am I on here, 24, okay. Our presence, we're on the internet, local marketing, open houses, the Weichert name, and it's growing out here. 88% of buyers search online. We have over 3 million visitors a month to Weichert.com. Local marketing, yard sign, direct mail campaign, open houses. Remember, 1 out of 3 Weichert open houses results in a sale. And then the Weichert name. And again, the open house that we had for Tehachapi, the buyer came from the open house. She was there without her agent, came through, saw it, loved it, and they sent an offer in. So the open house made it effective and easy for them to get in to see the home and that. So that was very helpful. Gold Services, and again, have 1 or 2 lenders that you can recommend and get out there. We don't provide insurance services out here. but have some insurance people, because you're inevitably, especially if they're going to buy a home, you know, hey, I need insurance, who should I call? Have some insurance people that you can have them contact that. You know, find a title company that you like, and if you're especially have the buyer, send them that direction. But also for the seller, you can pre-open or open escrow with them. I've been using Old Republic Title since I got into the business. They've always treated me well, took care of my stuff for me, and then home warranty. So you can use the one here. You can use Amanda, Old Republic Title, or Old Republic home warranty, Fidelity, right? Fidelity. But find one, have the information there that you can give them so they understand the whole process and what's going on. Your inspectors, those sort of things. Encourage them to get a pest inspection ahead of time and take care of those issues if they can ahead of time. So just have those things there. Also have vendors, you know, that are available, handyman, contractors, that. So in case there's work that needs to be done at the house, cleaners. So begin to build that database of people who you can recommend, so that when they ask those questions, you say, yeah, here you go, here's their number, here's their contact information, you can do that. The opportunity, you'll highlight the home's affordability. You can put together a sample stuff there of loan stuff, and that you can do that in conjunction with a lender, and kind of so people can get an idea of the sample payments, what's going to take place there. And again, that can be something part of your presentation that you put together there. Again, these are all things in the listing presentation. How you bring results, your specialist, know the market thoroughly. When you're going to do a listing in an area, especially if you're new and you've not been to some areas, get there ahead of time. You know, if you know that you're going to have a list appointment in a few days, go drive the streets, drive up and down, know the area, know where the main things are, know what amenities are around there, drive around, know it. Drive, see what parks are there, see what amenities those parks have. Know if there's extra taxes in it. Look up tax records, see if there's Melrose taxes or different taxes that are on there, because that's gonna come up. Become an expert on the neighborhood. What was that? Oh, is she upset because mommy's not there? Sign up, find out how to get on their next door neighbor thing, and start to stalk that neighborhood through next door neighbor and those sort of things, so you kind of know what's going on there. You'll see the things that are coming up.
On next door.
So those are things that make sure you start to know the neighborhood and the area and the issues that are there with that. If there's like vacant lots and parcels around that neighborhood, do some checking with the city that's in and see if there's development plan there. If there's things going on in there that you need to know about, and you don't get surprised by those. Let's see. And then you also put together a resume, kind of who you are, and that you're there to negotiate on their behalf. Where we really make our money is in negotiation. And that's where we need people to understand is that it always comes down, deals always come down to negotiation and the terms that's there. And that's where we save them or make them money, is through our ability to do that. And reassure them, if you can't come up with a good solution to figure something out, that we've got a team of people that come up with some great creative ideas and solutions for solving problems. And best example, a recent one was last year. Naomi had one where the agent put in a thing that this, and this, and the agent wanted her. It was listed as a 2% commission. It would happen to be a family member who was selling it, and he only wanted to pay, 4%. So she did 2 and 2, and so the agent wanted the commission pushed up to like 2.5 or 3%. And she goes, "What am I going to do?" I said, "Well, very simple." I said, "Are you counting other things?" "Yeah." I said, "Okay, put the counter together first, and then come see me." So she put the counter things we're countering. And so I looked at it, okay. I said, now, on the counter, put sales price to be, and I think it was a difference of like $7,500 or $8,000. Sales price to be, and put the number in there, and to offset increase in buyer's agent commission. I said, now, don't send it to her, call her. Say, hey, I just want to go over the counter we're going to send to you and make sure everything's good there before I send it over. And so she read first thing, second thing, third thing, and fourth thing, and she got to that. And the agent said, you can't put that in there? Well, why not? Well, she kind of hemmed and hawed. She said, I've never been where it's been a commission that low. It's like, okay, well, that's fine, we can do that, but the sellers asked me to, finally she goes, just take it out, I'm fine. So it's like, yeah. Because you don't want to explain to your buyers why they're paying more money so you can make more money because you're getting greedy on something, and problem solved, we got it in the contract, got it closed, and that was my favorite one. I said, she goes, how did you think of that? It's like, yeah, stinking thinking, I'm pretty good at that. Let's see. Your resource, I can handle problems, deed restrictions, zoning ordinances, smoke detectors, that sort of stuff. Make sure that you know those things that need to be done. Be an expert on the home of what needs to be done. Smoke detectors, where should they be? How many should there be?
One in every room.
One in every bedroom. Not every room, but every bedroom.
The kitchen?
Not in the kitchen. You'll set it off all the time.
Well, yeah, mine. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Every
day.
Outside the kitchen, but close to the kitchen. And then,
I thought there had to be like a minimum of 3.
depends on the house. And then one in hallways, hallway, that sort of stuff outside bedrooms. How about carbon monoxide detectors?
At least one. One upstairs, one downstairs.
Here's what the official law is. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's, pull brand A's off the shelf, read it. What they say is what needs to be for theirs is what you need. Read brand B's. If brand B's is different, what they say for theirs is where it is. So it's what the manufacturer says it has to be. That's really what it is.
So is it not okay to get the smoke detectors that have both? Like
there's back and forth on that one. I've heard that carbon monoxide is a heavy gas, and so by the time it gets up there, you're dead. But I've heard contrary to that. What I recommend to people is the plug-in ones that you can plug in low. And buy the ones that are tamper-proof so that if kids pull it off the wall, it makes this horrible racket. And they'll only do it once because, one, they get busted, but two, it's really loud. So they've got tamper-proof ones that can plug into the wall and that. So I prefer the plug-in ones that just takes all question off. Plus it's easier to replace batteries and do those sort of things. So it's a plug-in, so the batteries last forever too. So that's what I recommend on those. But the things, so that's why we always go over things like, the title reports and those sort of things. We want you to understand those things and how to deal with them. Property lines, conditions. There's a lot that people need to know, and so make sure you know what those things are. If you walk into a home and there's cracks all over the place, what's the concern?
You need a home inspection.
Well, a home inspection, there's foundation issues. So I would recommend a home inspection at that point to find out what's going on, or a foundation expert to come in and find out what's going on. We've got these cracks. I've got one down in Santa Clara it's a rental, but when she goes to sell, there's major stuff that needs to be done. It's going to need some major stuff done to correct the problems because there's cracks everywhere.
So my listing in Pittsburgh is coming up. It has this huge, I think it's huge. But there's like a crack in the cement, like in the walkway,
Okay.
going up to the front door.
Okay.
The front door it's 2 steps. It's a raised foundation, and and then the front, the lawn is up, and like, just like every other lawn in the neighborhood, it's all like up, and then it has a cement around it, and then there's a tree. So I'm concerned that we're getting the home inspection done, but I'm afraid that there's gonna be foundation issues because of the big, like, it's not just like a little crack, it's like another step.
Okay. Is that on the sidewalk or the walkway up?
It's the walkway, so like here's the front door, porch, and then 2 steps, and then the walkway, it's right in the middle of the walkway before you get to the driveway.
Okay. Are you seeing any cracking in the foundation stuff?
What do you mean? Like in the,
There should be a cement foundation on the outside. Even though it's a raised foundation, the outside should be a cement.
I honestly didn't pay that close attention. I just saw
That's what you gotta pay attention to.
the walkway.
Yeah, because the walkways may pop or crack because of the roots and stuff. Doesn't mean there's a foundation thing. You usually get some indication of some cracking in that cement in the foundation.
Okay.
So that's one of the things when I walk home, I'll look for the foundation. I'll also look at the barge rafters and the stuff up top and the trim. And if there's a lot of dry rot and those sort of things, I'm gonna really point out to them. I said, you get some small stuff here. Mm-hmm. That just shows that you understand what you're looking for. You understand what the home is. You can kind of ahead of time see what the issues are gonna be. So I always walk the house with buyers and sellers. When I've got the sellers, I walk the house as we're listing that so I can see some things, ask questions. The one over here in Brentwood, it's like, it's a spot right there. You know, there was a leak that, roof leak we had to fix about 5 years ago and it hasn't come back. Okay. So you can leave it like that, or what are you gonna do? Well, we're probably gonna have somebody come and paint it. And they came and painted it because but it had been something that it wasn't ongoing, but it was gonna raise questions. The issue had been fixed, hadn't recurred, so they do that. And then in disclosure, they just have to say, yeah, we had a leak and we took care of it and all that sort of stuff. So, and then the process, this is a great page that you can show people, is these are the 32 steps that I'm gonna take to get, so then when the person says, yeah, I'll do it for 2%, I'll do it for 1.5%, it's like, great. So which of these 32 steps are they gonna eliminate, for that commission? Because there's a lot of steps, there's a lot that we do on your behalf to get you the best terms, the best price, and that sort of stuff. So which of these are they not gonna do for your benefit? So it's important to talk about there. And then we'll guide them every step of the way, and then make sure you do. And then the price trend analysis, we've got that there. We talked about that. Get the best asking price, but also put it in the right range. Pledge of service. We don't have any of these cards right now. I'm going to order some, but here's what you promise. I'll make you understand all the steps involved before they happen. I'll return the calls promptly. I'll be your one connection to all relevant services. I will keep you informed of any change or activity immediately. I will understand your point of view and represent it fully in all negotiations. I will do everything I can to simplify the entire process for you. If you can then hand them that card, it's in the presentation, but you can hand them that card then, here's what I'll do for you. That's going to be a huge step for you. Let's see.
Don't they have this in that black folder we have?
I believe it's in there, yes. So we've got the black folders that has that in there too. So those are in the file cabinets over there too. The sale, let's see. Preparing for the price discussion. We've talked a lot about that. Again, I always tell them, even though we're a hot market and low inventory, I like to get multiple offers because then we can do a multiple counter offer. And then, so with a multiple counter offer, so somebody puts in an offer for $500,000 for a house, and somebody else puts it in for $480,000. So you've got two offers you're going to counter. Do you have to counter both parties with the same terms?
No.
Okay. So you can counter each one totally different terms.
Right.
Okay. It's very important to know, and that's the good thing of getting multiple offers, that you can counter different ones. So they both accept your terms. What do you do then? So you send the multiple counter out, different terms, comes back, they both accepted the terms, they both signed, and said, yes, we agree to that counter, we'll do that.
Oh, you sellers just have a choice.
Okay? You sellers have a choice. They can pick one and reject the other.
Because ultimately, that's not your decision to make. You're just a negotiator.
Yep.
You're just the one to guide the terms, send them out, and then if they both say yes, you present them, and you just, okay, here you go. I'll
Yep.
be here if you have questions, but they have to review it. You
Yep.
can't sway them one way or another.
No,
Yeah.
no, but ultimately, if you get both come back, you can accept one, reject the other. So, and I've had it sometimes where people, we send a counter out, and they counter back, and they counter in better terms, because they want the house. So, are better terms always mean that it's gonna be the best thing?
No,
Why?
it might not be, I don't know, better for the seller.
Okay,
Like if they want a 10-day close, but your seller needs to be there for 30 days.
okay, that may be it.
Right.
Okay. It also may be that it may not be realistic. So sometimes you can look at it and say, okay, they're throwing that number back in because they want it, and my concern is that they're going to get the inspections done and they're going to start knocking that price down. So you got to weigh those things. You got to know who the agent is on the other side. Have a conversation with that agent. Have a conversation with the lender. If they're doing a 3.5% FHA loan and they went 20,000 above, are they willing to bring in money in the event of a low appraisal? Do they have money to bring in the event of a low appraisal? They may not. So they may go crazy, but they don't have the means to accomplish that if it appraises lower. So those are all things that we need to understand and work on. Then there's a key behaviors checklist for pricing that's on page 659, page 59 in section 6 there. And that's always going to be a key thing. The other thing with pricing is when we walk through Jeff and Terry's house, what I asked them kind of near the end of the whole thing.
I don't know.
We were in the bedroom. I asked, is the TV staying?
Oh. You have to watch.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So, is the TV staying, the washer and dryer staying, the refrigerator staying? Oh, we hadn't thought about that. Okay, well, that may come up. So I want you to kind of think it through and what you're willing to do. And they're willing to leave the refrigerator now. They're not willing to leave the washer and dryer because she likes old things, which is why she's married to him. That was a joke going on earlier. So those are all things that, in terms of the pricing and discussion that we have in there. So there's the checklist for that, and what you also have is mastering the listing presentation. The last page there, 661. Those are all things that'd be good to know. And if you don't know areas like the contracts, those sort of things, then we need to sit down individually and start going those things to understand those and where to find all those forms and that. So make sure what I would do is look at that list, yes, I understand that, yes, no, it is, or no, I don't. And then you need to sit down with Maggie then and start saying, okay, I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know this, I need to know that. And so begin to work on that and make sure you understand those things and how to use them. Because if we got the tools but you don't know how to use them, it's worthless. A lot to cover, but that's all the listing presentation. Again, once the new one comes out, we'll take time to slow down and work on putting those together and how to put them together effectively. And that will come up there. Oops.
Woo.
Yeah, that was my first
Look at
house.
my listing.
Let's see. We'll put it there. We've gone for an hour and 10, so we'll stop right there. And so I would encourage you to go back and read through